Good afternoon and welcome back for I think this is my sixth or seventh and final conversation with my friends that are part of the launch of RevSherry.com and then also my new teleclass Jumpstart. And I encourage you, we've been talking about life purpose and I've been sharing with you friends of mine who have been doing amazing work in completely different arenas. One friend, you met Corey Chapman last week, who is a motivational speaker, a personal success and finance coach. You got to meet Mark Allen Felton, who is a world-renowned saxophonist. Yesterday we talked to Alicia Cooper, who is a comedian, just fabulous woman. And you also got a chance to meet Reverend Jamie Sanders, who is the senior minister at Unity of Pensacola. And today I'm meeting with someone whose work I just love. I am a history buff. I think that I think I probably would have been a history major had I had different history teachers in grade school. That's how much I love history. I feel like there is so much that we can learn by looking back over the lives of people who have come before us. And so that's part of the conversation that I want to have today. And I'm just really grateful for Reverend Mark Hicks, who has decided to come and hang with me on a Friday afternoon. Hey, Mark.
Hello, hi Sherry.
Hi, good to have you. So I first learned about you. I think it may have been my best friend Cherie who stumbled across your website, truthunity.net. And I was just blown away because here was the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, the Revealing Word, hyperlinked, connected to the American Standard Version of the Bible, which is the version that Fillmore used to do his interpretations. And I thought that it was the most amazing thing. In fact, even when I looked at it, I was like, well, where could this go? Meaning, I thought it was wonderful, but where could it go? And then over time, I have watched you add so much rich information, the other texts that have been added there, the archives. I feel like this is such a huge gift to New Thought that you are providing. And I guess my first question is, where did the idea come from in the first place?
Well, they're divine ideas, I can tell you. They didn't come from me. They just come. And it is amazing because I will be asleep in the middle of the night, wake up with something that just came out of the blue, not be able to get back to sleep. And by the morning, have a prototype. Just something that is far enough that there's no telling. That happens all the time.
So did you have a history of putting together websites, or was this the first website that you put together?
Well, I was a software engineer. I spent most of my career doing computer work, not necessarily websites. But actually, I was getting out of technology and intended to go into ministry. That was 2008. And I was up at Unity Village, and I ran across audio tapes in the library. And these audio tapes were 20, 30 years old. People back in the 80s were cassette tape junkies. I don't know if you remember. You probably don't, but your mother does, I can tell you. People used to buy audio tapes all the time. And anyway, so Unity's filled with these audio tapes. I started listening to them, and I said, oh, they just spoke to me. So I digitized it, started putting it out on the web so that my friends could listen to it. And that's really how it started.
That's remarkable. And I think the thing that just impressed me the most was it was the hyperlinked MBD or Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. MBD is, what we know it by shorthand. But the hyperlinked MBD and the hyperlinked Revealing Word, I thought, this is amazing. It it makes my research and my sermon development and my study so much easier. Where did the idea come to just hyperlink everything, and how difficult was it to even do that?
I was sitting in the student union at the University of Texas, just sipping coffee, and I can tell you, the idea just came. And by that afternoon, I had it wasn't working, but I had the logic laid out. 7 days later, I sent out an email to everybody saying, hey, check out that site. And it was built on a wiki. Right? It wasn't in the present form of it. And I knew something about building wikis. You know how Wikipedia lets you go from one link to another link to another link, wind up getting lost, going link to link to link. So I found a Wikipedia piece of software, figured out how you import stuff into it, downloaded the ASV, American Standard Version Bible, which was public domain. Fortunately, the Bible that Fillmore's used is now public domain. And the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary is public domain. And so it really wasn't that hard to plug it into a website, a wiki piece of software. Anyway, within a week, I had everything there. It's good.
Oh, well, I love the site. So now this was 2008, 2009. About when was this?
It's 2009.
2009. Okay, yeah, because we were in seminary, I think, which would have been 2010, 2011 when we ran across it. And I just thought that it was phenomenal. I just, like, literally, you were a rock star in my book. And I remember I reached out to you for something. I don't remember what. And you wrote back, and I was like, oh, my God. He reached back. But it was so amazing, and I loved the work. Now, have you always been a history buff, or was this kind of opened up just when you had made that trip to Unity Village?
No. I was a history major in college many years ago, probably before you were born. But I was a history major, and actually went to a seminary in 1975. Wound up meeting my wife, and that was something that delayed my ministry by about 25 years. Raising children, getting married. I've always been into history. When I got into Unity, we discovered a different way of history. I've always been into transcendentalism, great fan of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Unity was able to connect religion and history and innovation. Very powerful. So, anyway, that's kind of my background.
So, okay, let me make sure I understand. So seminary for you was seminary, like not seminary through Unity's School of Christianity.
Right. I was going to be a congregational minister out of college. I studied history in college for the purpose of going into congregational ministry.
And how did you land what brought you to Unity? How did you even find Unity?
My wife wanted to go to a concert of a guy who was doing crystal bowls. It's a very interesting concert. We went to the concert. That's how we got into it. Although I had known of it, but I'd never been to. But one time I'd been to Odyssey. But that brought my wife and I. It was here in Austin. So it's a concert. Extracurricular event.
Wonderful. Now, is your wife also a Unity minister?
She's not, but she's a great truth student.
I would have to imagine. It's kind of like if you're in the life of somebody who's a truth student or a truth minister or teacher, it's like you can't help it because it's all over you. So I definitely understand that. Wonderful.
She's her daily word. It's marked up every day. She doesn't just read it. She circles all these words, makes notes. And then when she's done with the English version, she does it in Spanish.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Now, looking back over history, because here's why I love history. I love history because I had no idea that these people were living, breathing people. They were flat, two-dimensional people on a page for me, and they had no life and no dreams and desires and hopes and wishes. And I think the first teacher that really exposed me to history as a way of the vibrancy of history was Mary Tumpkin. And it was just the way that she taught the Bible that all of a sudden these characters that were like flat on the page stood up and had life, and they were living, breathing people, and they had agendas, and they had feelings, and they were going through all of the same things that we were going through, and she just made them come alive. And that really got me to reading historical fiction. But I have a love and a passion for New Thought, so I'm particularly interested in the men and women who were the pioneers of this incredible movement, the Mary Baker Eddies of the world, the Emma Curtis Hopkins of the world. Do you have a favorite teacher from history that you just love, and why?
Well, it would have to be Ralph Waldo Emerson, hands down.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Of
I will
course.
give you a little tidbit. Ralph and I share the same birthday, so there.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. You're blessed. Um, let me just make a comment about this and New Thought. Orthodox religion is historical. There's a lot of people in mainstream and evangelical churches that look back to the past to find out. New Thought is different. New Thought always goes to that's a uniqueness of New Thought. This simply is not the mainstream Christianity, at least in my opinion. And so when we pray, we experience God. We experience God here and now. Even though we have a rich historical tradition, certainly here, the way we express it, I suspect that's what you picked up with Mary Tumpkin. It's not that she was a biblical scholar, but that she was living the biblical truth. She was a here and now. That the biblical ideas were expressing through her. And in my opinion, that's one of the great features of New Thought. It's an expression here and now of the divine God's. But we're not looking future to in the future to heaven. We're not looking for Jesus to come back sometime in the future. We're looking for Jesus to come back. That's a new.
Yeah. I would say that that's radical. We got a lot of folk in trouble for many years is believing that. But you're absolutely right that it is a right now experience. And it is, and in this moment that we can experience the divine.
And in some circles of New Thought, there's been a rich tradition about re-embodiment.
A rich tradition of, say it one more time.
Re-embodiment or reincarnation. The preferred word is re-embodiment. But see, there's this sense that we've been here before. And somewhere buzzing around on planet Earth is the new expression of our rich heritage. Charles and Mervyn and others. They're with us. They're with us here today. And that brings, I think, an awareness. Whenever we meet somebody in a congregation, we ultimately see someone on the horizon. Let's be wondering, where have you been? Where did you get your rich heritage? Everyone, potentially, a new embodiment of St. Paul. You never know. But we don't live in a linear life.
I'll tell you that one of the things that, because like you said, I've heard it. I hadn't heard the term re-embodiment, but I for sure had heard the term reincarnation. And the one thing that made me say, okay, I'll give this idea a shot, because I just shut it out. It was, one of the things that I liked about New Thought was that if you can't demonstrate it, don't let it go. Put it to the side. Don't worry about it. It's not, nothing is doctrinal where you have to believe it and you have to take it as it's given. And so I like that. I was happy with that. But one of the things that I that opened the door for me to just look at it differently. There was a book, and I don't even remember the book, and I'd have to like fight with Reverend Della to like get her to like let me have it or let me make photocopies of it. But what it talked about was this idea of polarity, and that everything in our phenomenal world has its polar opposite. Up has down, left has right, in has out. And now God, the creator, the energy intelligence that sustains the universe, is beyond opposites. But in our experience, we have opposites. And so for life not to have an opposite, meaning it's circular. So when you go up, you come down, but then you go back up. So everything moves on this, continuum. That for life not to have that similar cycle where it's life, death, life, death, life, death, it would be the only thing then that does not work according to spiritual law. And that was the first time that I heard reincarnation, re-embodiment, first time I heard this term, explained to me in a way that I could say, okay, I'll open up to the idea, the possibility of reincarnation.
We have in New Thought the sense of correspondence. What is within is expressed without. Is it expressed outward? And that also implies that there is a spirit world, a fourth dimension, kingdom of heaven, and it's constantly expressing who we are, how we are, and that is eternal. I may get run over by a truck tomorrow, but the expression from the heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is this kind of timeless, but that is a polarity. Expression and a manifestation.
Let me ask you this, because I think that this is, thinking about, the work that you're doing, and from this experience of creating Truth Unity, and because this is a ministry, and it's a remarkable ministry. What would you say has been your biggest spiritual lesson to date?
Realize that my gift, to understand what my gift is, it took me a long time to understand that Truth Unity is a discipleship program. And I discovered that it was kind of disciple. I don't know really how to explain it, but at some point, the material that I started posting about Truth Unity was an expression of material that's spoken, rather than just putting material up. Things would come to me that would resonate with me, would impact my spiritual. They would enhance my understanding of relationship with God, and that became the criteria for me. And so, Truth Unity began to be an expression of my spiritual life, spiritual unfolding. And that's when I began to remove a lot of stuff from Truth Unity. The first couple issues of Unity magazine, Charles Fenwell published in 1889. It had everything under the sun. It was a wide variety of stuff, and a lot of it was kind of junk.
Hmm.
And Emma Curtis Hopkins came down to Kansas City, and I think she really chewed out Charles Fenwell and said, "Oh, you got a bunch of nonsense up here. You need to clean it up." And if you pared it down, narrowed it to that material that really spoke to him, that's when I think that greatness comes forth. What I did with Truth Unity, I just after a while I realized this is confusing. Something they didn't speak to me. Didn't. So why? So I started comparing it, putting stuff down. That's when I discovered this is an expression of spiritual. I suspect it's the same for a new ministry. Someone gets out of seminary, they talk about this. At some point in their ministry, they've just got to talk about God's people. The great ministries are people who don't go off to the left, they just go forward with what God is speaking. I can tell you this material speaks. I don't put out something. That's my discovery.
Have you gotten the kind of support that you want for Truth Unity?
It's growing. It's growing. We're 5 years into it right
Mm-hmm. I guess because I mean I've watched the evolution of it and I've definitely been impressed by the things that you were doing. I saw that. So now, do you still? Because I thought I was on your email list, but do you still email out to people on a consistent basis?
now. About once a month, and you're on my list. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got to find out where my notes are then.
But again, I don't put out an email unless I've got something to say, and so it may be a couple of months.
Okay. 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 Great.
An email.
Okay.
Sometimes it's every week, but intentionally, I do not put out anything unless there's something to say. And by the way, there's something big to say.
Sure.
So, anyone's listening in, subscribe before Sunday.
Yes.
Something's
What now history for you? Why is history important? And I didn't know you were a history major, so that I feel like that explains a whole lot because you've done an amazing job. But what, from your perspective, why is history important?
Well, it's because nothing is new in new thought. That is a quote from Eric Levitt. Everything you have in your thought is handed on to us. No one can claim to be the father or the mother of the we got where we are, we know what we know, by virtue of one incremental discovery after another being passed on. And we will pass it on to others. So I look back. If you're familiar with the StrengthsFinder book, right?
No, what book is this?
It's called the StrengthsFinder.
Yes. Yes. I do have that. Mm-hmm.
And there's a strength that many people have called context. And context is simply the ability, or the strength of being able to look back to history for understanding the present. Many people, when they're trying to navigate life, look back, see what others have done and discovered. That's where they find a source of wisdom and guidance. And that's certainly. And going back to Emerson, myself as a 16-year-old boy, self-reliance is a great discovery for me, coming from Emerson, 150 years old. So I look back. absolutely. Um, this past 2 years, I've been a student, part-time student at the University of Texas, the Religious Studies Department. My focus has been on American history. I think I have discovered, and I'm publishing on Truth right now, an analysis of American religion that attempts to explain why we seem to have these, what we call great awakenings. Had a great awakening in the middle of the 1700s, great awakening in the early part of the 1800s, had a great awakening in the New Thought era, 1830s, and we are in the middle right now of another great awakening. I think I have an explanation why that seems to happen. But that's something that we get by looking at history. It's tempting, I think, today to look at the big thing that's going on today. Right? It's Oprah and Joel. If you look at what's going on Sunday morning, Oprah Winfrey, look at what's going on Sunday morning, Joel Osteen, regardless of what you may think of their technology, they are clearly vanguard of how religion is emerging in the States, at least in Western culture. Oprah especially. Most people are unaware of how much she is contributing to spiritual growth.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's stunning. Most people are not aware of it. But that's where American is. It's through media, it's virtual, it's heartfelt, it's
Mm-hmm.
effective. And Joel, I bring up Joel Osteen because he's blending new thought with that. He's doing it in a very regardless of your feelings about evangelical religion. He's creating something new. He is reinventing evangelical Christianity, bringing life into thought. We're pretty stodgy in big thought. Joel's not stodgy at all. But
Yeah.
I think to get it, my point is to get a grasp of what's going on, you have to look back. And look back, understand what the roots are. With Oprah, I don't believe Oprah would be there now. Discovered what she was about.
Right. Right. No, I would definitely agree. Well, I look forward to reading that. I scanned a little bit of what you shared with me, so I'm really excited to see the final result.
One of the things I'm doing is there's a business uh, theory, and it's called the theory of disruption. It came about to explain why Southwest Airlines was able to disrupt the airline industry. Why this way Southwest Airlines has become a real top airline company when Delta and American and United are struggling. What is it that they did different? What they did different was simplify the delivery of air. They didn't offer better air, they offered more simple air. And what New Thought does is it simplifies the delivery of because we don't have to keep everything standard. We don't have to have complex. We can live here and now. know that prayer is effective. What you don't do is put on a roadblocks that offer them a possibility of changing their life to God. I think that's why Alcoholics Anonymous really latched on to give people a simplified way to change their life very easily. Just like Southwest Airlines offered a no frills form of air travel, Youth offers no frills way to change. That's a nutshell of it.
Yeah.
Oh, today you turn it on Sunday morning. It's no frills, simple, straightforward, good truth. You don't have to go through a discipleship training program. You have to get baptized. Go for it. That's the secret. And Joel does the same thing. So,
Yep. No frills. No frills spirituality. Interesting.
and let me say, that's what tent meetings are about. That's, the old days when people were out in the frontier era, you couldn't have churches. They were so far out in the wilderness that churches didn't make sense. They had circuit riders. We follow this. Simplified, no frills.
That's interesting. That one that puts the Metaphysical Bible Hangout in an entirely different light.
So you're doing it, gal. You're doing it right there. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Keep it simple.
Yes, very, very simple. It's a class. We come, we study the Bible, we go home, and we don't come anywhere. You just turn on your computer or your phone or your iPad, and then we have class.
Do it in your pajamas.
Right, exactly, exactly. In fact, there was someone in the class last night. Another person said, "I don't think she knows that we can see her, that she's in her pajamas." And oh, wonderful. Well, Mark, this has been remarkable, and I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. And I want to tell people how to support you. So they can actually go to truthunity.net, right? And they can make a donation of any amount, large amounts appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And what else? Anything that we should know that's coming up in the future?
On Truth Unity, well, let me give you share with what's happening Sunday.
Okay.
We're beginning to translate Unity text in German, and I just spent 1/3 of my income this year to get lessons in truth translated in Brazilian Portuguese. It's now it will be done by Saturday night. And, Brazil is a vibrant country. So we're beginning to translate. New Thought is a worldwide religious movement. The texts are not in foreign languages. The texts are all in English. And you've got to get those texts out there in Portuguese, Spanish, French, German, Chinese, whatever. We have to do that. I'm offering a mechanism. Send me $25 and I'll put it into translate. I'll get the translators on. The translations will be out. Anyone can come in an ebook, come on a website, publish a book, throw it on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you taking this around the world?
I'm laying the foundation to go on.
Yeah.
I see putting it out there as a kind of invitation to anyone. I'm getting a lot of visitors from West Africa, a lot of visitors from South Africa, a lot of visitors from Brazil, a lot of visitors from India. So
You said from India?
India, yeah. Because they speak English. certainly Spanish, French.
Right. You're right. This is a uniquely American. I hadn't consciously thought of that. Um, I'll tell you what excites me from a historical standpoint is that to me, this is what the founders were doing, that they were thinking and strategizing and how do we share this message, and because they weren't trying to necessarily start a new religion, they were just looking to offer a different way to be Christian, a fuller way to have an experience with God. And so this is this work that you're doing, that I'm doing, and some of the other people that I know that are out online and teaching, that it was a way to get this message out, that it to as many different people as possible, and spreading that. And so I see the work that we're doing in the context of the work that they did.
Yeah, we're not building a church. We're building a sect. We're building a movement.
Yes.
And we do have I understand there is this organization, but that's not really funded. That's not what we're about. This is an exciting era. You and I are partners with a long time.
Yes. How exciting. So what's next for me is Jumpstart, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You took the Ten Commandments class, and I would love for you to just share your experience with my audience, or with anyone who may be watching me for the first time, what your experience was with me as a teacher. I'm asking you for a testimonial on the spot, but.
Well, it was a fire hose, I can tell you. 30 days, 40 days.
40 days, yeah.
Half hour. I don't know how you do it. I was exhausted just listening. I can't imagine doing it for 40 days. Exhausted listening for 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you were available. You were there. And, each day you get up, our energy's high, your energy is high. To me, that was the big eye-opener. So I knew you were there. Just knowing you were there, even the days that I didn't call in. That's, I think, where I find that's where. So you held the walk, the highway, the Bible. Like I said, even when my energy was down, I knew you were there. I know you're there. That's inspiring. So,
Well, a little secret, I would get up at 5 in the morning so that by the time I was talking at 7, all of the sleepy was out of the voice.
well, but you did it for 40 days. So I did it for a couple of days.
Well, right. And maybe I learned my lesson with this class, because this class is 21 days. So it's 21 days, similar format, half hour, 7 to 7:30 Pacific. And it is recorded for anyone that, that it conflicts with their work hour, or they can't, sit in live. But I'm really excited. I am. This is a new direction for me. We started doing this format inside of Up Church, so this is the first time that I'm offering it, separate and apart from Up Church, as part of my personal ministry through RevSherry.com. And so this is the first thing that I'd offer was the Metaphysical Bible Hangout, which was the first kind of iteration of me teaching online and sharing this information. And now we're taking it and using it in a practical way. It's like, how do I take this and figure out what is my life purpose? Why am I here? How do I discern the puzzle pieces that I've been handed?
And you're pushing the boundaries of technology in ministry, in the company.
You know, every time I make a mistake on technology, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like I'm like like I'm just in the quicksand. So I appreciate you saying that.
But you know, every class you teach, you get better.
Y-
You learn something, and the technology gets better month by month, not necessarily day by day, but month by month. The bandwidth gets a little better, the reception gets better, it's more reliable, new ideas come up. You're talking about the hyperlink metaphysical Bible. I just happened to be the first guy that thought about hyperlink. Uh, so that was kind of a push. It was a step forward. And that one really paid off. I can tell you, there were a lot of things I tried that were not divine ideas. They were silly ideas. But sometimes they pay off. And if you keep trying new technologies, you'll discover that 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 10 works. And that pushes the ball forward, learn something, build upon it. Next thing you know, you're on the avant-garde of ministry, providing it to do that. Going back to Oprah, what is she doing? She's bringing to millions.
Right.
She didn't, this is 25 years into her career. Back in 1986, I don't think that she had tried doing this back in 1986. Pushing the envelope, you're pushing the envelope. You're a young woman. You've got, shoot, you've probably got 40 years more to go. Don't tell her we will be 2060.
That's true. I hadn't considered that, but you're right. Who knows where this is going? Who knows where God is taking me? That's really true. I absolutely see that. I absolutely see that for sure. And you're right, 1986, there's no way she could have looked ahead and seen what 2014 looked like. That was future, you know, for her, it was just keep the show on the air, you know, and have fun doing it. Yep, you're absolutely right. Wonderful. Thank
The
you.
business we're in is delivering religious benefits. This is a marketplace of sorts. We're looking for, I call them religious benefits, spiritual messages. We have to deliver them. You're doing it right now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I know I'm looking forward to figuring out a way to work with Truth Unity and do something with, you know, with what you're doing there. I think it's fabulous. And however I can contribute to that, I would be delighted to do that.
You just did.
So, oh, thank you, thank you. No, but I want to do something like some kind of project that makes sense for what you're doing and for what I'm doing.
Yeah, we're not in charge.
No, no. We'll just be open to the idea.
Can I call you at 3 in the morning if the idea comes?
Yes.
Okay.
Chances are I'm going to be awake. That's the thing. Since I've been working on this class, my sleep has been off. You know, I mean, I had people that were working in Pakistan on the site, so that was part of it. But then just the erratic nature of creativity that, you know, how the brainstorm comes at midnight. And it's like I'm trying to get it all out, and then I look around and it's, you know, 3 a.m. and it's like, crap. Okay, let me sleep for 3 hours and then get up because the work day still happens. So, yeah. So you could call me at 3 and I could be awake.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I am really grateful that we got a chance to do this, and I thank you, everybody who tuned in. If you have questions, didn't ask questions now, but if you have questions later, you can definitely put them in the chat below, and I'll get them and respond to them. But thank you so much. I very much appreciate you taking time out of your day to chat with me.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.